The topic for today's video, it comes from a somewhat recent event. But how many of you have been to like a maid cafe before? I haven't, and they're not too common like around me. I try to think because I feel like I have seen one. But anyway, I asked because our editor Neem like messaged me that his girlfriend's applied to work at one and that they needed some help. For regulars to this channel, if you haven't guessed by now, our editor Neem is like a really big fan of like idol culture, and so is his girlfriend too. And apparently this job is really competitive in like the United States, and a lot of girls apply even though it's like really difficult. And by difficult, I mean like the application process. I'm sure you'll see a bunch of like editor notes in this video because like I'm only just trying to be a narrator in a story that I'm just like barely part of. And so for my lack of knowledge on this topic, I mean maid cafes are like part of the idol subculture, but like they're not really popular where I am, and like I don't think they were around when I was like involved in that idol work. So applicants had to like record a video, and that video had to include a self-introduction and also a dance performance. That's right? Am I forgetting something? Apparently they released maids like how talent studios release like groups. So you didn't have like all the time in the world, and you had like a certain like cutoff day. And to make things even more worse, our editor team like didn't include me until like really late into the whole thing. And I don't think he was planning to like involve me at all, and he just messaged me because his girlfriend was upset at him. From what I heard, she was applying to this like whole maid cafe with 2 other friends, and they had like invited them to their house to like all dance together and practice. And you know what, editor team, can you just like write like what happened? Because it feels so weird for me to explain this when I wasn't even there. I'm someone who believes that education in a lot of things isn't like linear, and oftentimes like high interest or like determination can overcome like following the proper steps for some people. So her learning choreography like with no background of dance, that really wasn't the concern. The worrying part was that it was for a job application, and there was also a time limit. If it was for like a side hobby, maybe that would have been a different story. I try to be very cautious before I give any like advice or like accept any help requests, especially when I don't have like a full picture. But I sat in on one practice, mostly because I was curious, and I think I could like spot what the issue was. The difficulty of choreography like really ranges per person, but there's also a kind of difficulty that can't be broken down into levels like a rhythm game. And what I mean by that, or why I say that, is the difficulty of choreography like it really depends on how hard you want it to be. A lot of people can copy moves from watching a video over and over, but a very few number of people can like learn how to make a very rehearsed dance look very natural. From watching her practice, it looked like natural delivery was the intention. But this is something that takes a lot of like time or talent, maybe both. Trying to make something look natural, it can have that opposite effect where it looks even more unnatural. I think being aware of your strength and weakness, it's a really good thing to have. Leaning into your strength is really good for short-term or time-sensitive things, while working on your weakness is something that's better for long-term. I'm going somewhere with this. Personality and appearance plays a really big role in being like an idol. I want to say it's almost as important as your ability to sing and dance, but I don't think that people are generally born with like high specs and all that. If your appearance isn't what people would like consider conventionally cute, you can always lean into like your other traits. It's a really wordy way of saying people have a lot of things going for them. With only a few days left before applications having to be turned in, I told our editor Dean to like stop pointing out all of the issues and like the small details that need work with the dance, and that dance is a very like visual experience. And what I mean by that is if you take someone who's conventionally cute or like very attractive and you have them do the dance, it can make a very mediocre dance look a little bit better. A debatable thing to say, but idol dance is very different from other styles of dance where like it's not as like technical. Personality and appearance, it makes up a lot of what idol dance is. But yeah, pretty much what I said was like ignore editor Dean's like technical advice, and you might not have been born with like the ability to dance really well or learn really fast, but you were born really cute, and cute looks can carry a lot of the dance. Normally, I think this would be a terrible thing to say, but in this circumstance, I felt that like time was running out, and confidence was really lacking. The only thing I felt when watching the practice was a bunch of frustration. I don't think telling her that she's a great dancer in her own way when she just saw like two of her friends dance much better than her would have really helped with confidence. But yeah, I mean, I was just so worried watching because it looked like she was just gonna give up. And I think that confidence is really important in preventing people from like just giving up. By the way, I want to take this moment to tell you like, just don't agree with everything that I'm saying. The advice and like the things that I say, it just comes from my own experience and that's very limited. So I feel like I don't have to say this for those who regularly watch me. Like I go through the comments and there's like people who disagree with me all the time. Fast forward to was it last week, but our editor-님 told me that she's now like, well, she got through the application process and she went through the interview and she got called back to now like shadow at the Maid Cafe. It's really amazing though, isn't it? Like out of hundreds of applicants. I actually worked with our editor-nim's girlfriend at like an anime convention, but from what I saw, she was like really good with people and I think she'd be a really good maid. We'll have to work on her performance though, so when she's like an idol maid, she does a good job performing on stage. You should buy me a plane ticket for when that happens. For viewers, I'm sorry, but I promise not to share any names. But if you live in the United States, I believe that they like perform at like anime conventions. By the way, our editor-님 is like really pushing this concept of like a breakdancing like maid idol, and I don't know how I feel about that. Like I'm picturing a maid like spinning on her head and I don't think that works. What was that move you showed me? It went like this, right?